ladies and gentlemen. Irfan Razak, the Chairman and Managing Director of Prestige Group, is a pioneering leader in India's real estate sector with over 4 decades of experience. Under his visionary leadership, Prestige Group has delivered landmark residential, commercial, retail, and hospitality developments across Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, NCR, Kochi, Goa, and Mumbai. Renowned for his strategic foresight, focus on quality, innovation, sustainability, and customer centricity, Mr. Razak has successfully steered the organization through multiple market cycles while fostering a strong work culture and actively supporting philanthropic initiatives in education, healthcare, and community welfare. He is recognized as a leading authority in the industry. Mr. Razak has received numerous national and international honors, including the FRICS Fellowship in 2013, the Real Estate Professional of the Year in 2008, the Best Developer Award in 2009-10, Commercial Master Builder Award in 2010, the Entrepreneur Extraordinaire Award in 2010, the Construction World Architect and Builder Award in 2010, the EPC World Award in 2011, recognitions by CREDAI in 2013, NDTV in 2015, the Sir M. Visvesvaraya Memorial Award in 2015, the Best CEO in Asia, the Best in India in 2014, Images Retail Award, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2022, IHC London, and the IIHM Lifetime Achievement Award, the Hall of Fame Award in 2024, the Karnataka Rajyotsava Award in 2024, recognition by the Retailers Association of India, and the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2025 ET Business Awards. I'm sure all of you will agree with me that he deserves a loud round of applause as we welcome him on stage, Irfan Bhai, for the 44th Ayaz Peer Boy lecture. May I request you to please join us on stage.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And a special good evening to Bunty and Sadika Peer Boy. And of course, how can I forget Akshar and his lovely wife, and I just met his son. When Akshar reached out to me almost 6 months ago, June, July of 2025, so he planned it well. And I got this email from him, and there was invitation to come and speak for this very prestigious Ayaz Peer Boy Memorial Award lecture. I was taken aback. In two minds, whether I would do justice for this very prestigious lecture. I do remember that for a period of years, I was an invitee. The only thing that I don't remember is how many of those events I attended, because we all get caught up with something called life. And then you become a bit antisocial, and you somehow try to see how you can balance things. I knew Bunty and Sadika, and I was always in awe of the agency, MAA. And I considered the agency to be too big to handle when I was a small retailer. Of course, time and destiny move on, and we all get engrossed in our own lives and areas of work. Akshar fixed time to meet me. Even then I hadn't made up my mind, but after I met him, I had a cup of coffee with him. I was truly impressed by the young man. Where is he? I can't see him. There you are. Because when I'm speaking, I like to focus on some people. And of course, I'd like to focus on you. Because you're the motivator who's brought me here. I do hope after the end of what I have to say, you don't regret it. Akshar was truly impressive. We had a nice, quiet conversation. And then I asked him what this needs to be done. Then he told me this. So, but then with all his motivation, his soft-spoken demeanor, I had no choice but to say yes to him. There was something else that happened. I said yes to him, all prepared. Sheetal, my EA, was coordinating with your people here. It was all set. I think they sent some proofreading of the invite and everything, all that was done. I went for a trip, expedition to Antarctica. Suddenly, my brother sprung a surprise. He put it on the group that he was to have a book launch in December 23rd, but somewhere some chief guest couldn't come. So I asked him what happened. He said, no, till I get the chief guest, I can't launch the book. I said, fair enough. But there we were chilling out. We really were in our own different mood. And suddenly I got a message from him that I fixed it for 31st of Jan. And I said, how can that be possible? I didn't realize it. I sent that to Sheetal and she said, sir, you've already blocked your evening for the lecture. I panicked. I'm supposed to be very organized, and the person who keeps me organized is my EA. And here, lo and behold, now I'm caught between the deep sea and the devil. Here I made a commitment 6 months ago, and here is my own brother. How do I balance it? I had mentioned this to him also when we were together, we were riding in the car, and I did mention about Akshar visiting me, and then they invited me for this lecture. But I think it slipped his mind too, or probably he didn't focus on the date. So I messaged him back. I said, listen, I can't do this. I can't be there. And of course, it's a question of choosing between two, and I had to choose both. Finally, we decided that he's going to have his event. Akshar also panicked and he said, listen, I spoke to Dad. Dad said, last 44 years I've had this event 31st of Jan and I can't change it. So the best thing is we cancel it. I said, that's not an option. So here I am before you. I finished that event there. I did speak something there and I've come back here again to speak to you. All those introductions, this, that, were highly embarrassing. I think, again, my office has sent off too much thing, and then my friend here has given so much of an introduction, I don't think I deserve that. I've endeavored to put up a presentation which chalks out the journey of Prestige and the transition from a fashion retailer for the who's who of Bangalore to a real estate giant. I do hope you enjoy this presentation. And I hope it's not too long. But I thought, if I'm presenting, I have to present it properly. So this is a story, booming story of a baby boomer. And then I'll take you back to what Bangalore was. Because baby boomers were all born in the 1950s, you see. So I'm a baby boomer. And this is a booming story of this baby boomer and, of course, Bangalore. What was Bangalore in the 50s? What a lovely city it was. It's not that it's not today, but it's something else. This is MG Road. You can see the EGK photography shop. You used to have the Lake View ice cream parlor there. And notice the cars parked on the other side of the road. And the chap who used to serve us ice cream had to balance his tray and cross the road and serve us the ice cream. That was Bangalore. This city was where people were quiet. It was quiet, people were contented, an easy life. And this is another image of MG Road, where you see the Empire Theatre in the corner. And this one, who remembers Liberty Theatre? I think all old Bangaloreans. The cinema. And see the queues for the cinema tickets. See the amazing queues. So that's it. And then, this is my old school. This is the St. Joseph School. Of course, the priests have changed it, rebuilt it, redesigned it, but they've kept the same character of the school. And I studied here. This is where I got my formative years. This is where we got the foundation. This is where we taught our values, which stand even today. Though the school has been rebuilt, it has got the similar character. And this is the old Elgin flour mills on Hosur Road, of course, which our company redeveloped. And we've tried to manage to keep a similar architecture just to keep the heritage of the property. And then we've got the Opera Theatre now, which is the Samsung showroom at the end of Brigade Road. And then this image. This is the Rex Theatre. Even this property, it was in my destiny, in our company's destiny, to redevelop it. And I think we've done a fairly good job of it. But you notice the ticket on the left. It says 2 rupees 70 paisa for a movie called Guns of Navarone. And today, you won't even pay, you'll pay more for the parking. And the movie itself, the whole experience for one person will cost you about a couple of thousand. And in 1953, that was my first day. That was 30th October, and I made my grand debut. I officially arrived in this world. And in 1956, something else happened. Karnataka got its different name for the state. It was the Mysore state before. 1956, we got the Karnataka state. Bangalore became the state capital. And the third thing that happened was the brand Prestige was born as the men's fashion store. And this was established by my father, Mr. Haji. This is in Commercial Street. And this is the Prestige store. And it was established by my father, Haji Abdul Razak Sattar Seth. And we must give him all credit. We kept the same name, Prestige, for everything, whatever we do. So we are not 40 years old. We are almost now 70 years old in this city. And then, family values. That's my dad, mom, the two of us little kids, Rizwan and me, and that's my grandmother. So what were we taught? We were taught family values. My dad and mom were the two pillars, and they gave us the foundation of true values, discipline, resilience, and taught us the importance of family and unity. To date, we follow the same thing. We carry the entire family with us. We are together. We are not split. Though we may have grown or whatever else, there's no discord. That's why I said I had to trade off, but the trade-off paid. I've done both. I'm doing both. I've done that. I'm doing this today. Then after this, you grow up. It was fun days. It was school. It was college. And really fun days. I just jotted some points so that, the flow is right. And I did this morning. Of course, this was prepared earlier. We were blessed to be in the best of institutions. Nostalgic memories of teachers and professors. I, for one, hated the science subject, but had a good head for numbers. Played all the sports and cultivated many hobbies. Had an inherent quality of taking responsibility and leadership. Whenever something came up, my hand went up first. to take the responsibility. And that again continues even today. I was the house captain in school and in college. I had a fun time, a grand time contesting the college union elections and winning them and being the president of the St. Joseph's College of Commerce. It was not politics, but a burning desire to contribute to the well-being of the college. We did that taking all our opponents. Once the elections were done, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. After it was done, we all took the opponents together and we were one united group that only worked for the good of the college. That was the best part. In fact, the sad part is, one of my opponents, a very dear friend who from school, I know him, in college something got into his head and he stood as my opponent. Just 2 weeks ago, he passed away. So that is life. We don't take anything with us. And great memories we have. I always believe that you need to have the passion, the hunger, and the discipline. If you don't have the passion, if you don't have the hunger and the discipline, and of course with that I'll also add consistency, you don't achieve anything in life. And that, I think, is what gets us through in anything and everything that we do. Of course, somebody else, for this PhD, he said passion, hunger, discipline. He said partially head damage. I won't say who it was, but somebody said that. So once done with college, life started. Started working in that store, meeting the who's who of Bangalore. Many of you I would have met. Maybe I would have sold you some clothes, including Bunty. He would have visited my store. Yeah, of course. From rich businessmen to coffee planters to professionals to bureaucrats to politicians. But we gained insights of how the wealthy spend their money. Yeah, they really came and they really knew how to spend their money. Whether wisely or not is a separate problem. This experience gave us the confidence in dealing with influential people. In fact, we had exposure to many chief ministers who used to come and get their clothes tailored. And one day I'll tell you an incident. I think it was Mr. Gundu Rao's time. He used to get his clothes tailored in the store, and I always used to attend to him. We got a call from the Vidhan Sauda, bring your tailor and come immediately to the Vidhan Sauda. I said, something's gone wrong. Did his trouser burst or something happen to his jacket? Nothing like that happened. He was in a cabinet meeting and he called me and he told me to measure up all his cabinet members and get suits made for them. They were all going for some conference overseas. So those are the memories. This helped us in the years to come by. In fact, I started my work helping Dad in the store, but I had this burning desire either to become a chartered accountant or a lawyer, but that didn't happen. Again, I told you, life gets you. You're destined for whatever you are. So what happened was, in the year 1980, something else happened. Bangalore became a boom city. Real estate prices started going up. Of course, going up in comparisons to today, very different. But real estate prices were going up at that time. Then the family decided to sell the family bungalow. We used to live in that bungalow. We played in that bungalow. We grew up in that bungalow. But the family decided it belonged to my dad and two uncles. And they said, why don't you sell it? And the buyers were all developers coming in from Delhi, Mumbai, and they were evaluating property because they thought, again, it's business. They all thought it was an opportunity to earn money. So I was given the responsibility. As I told you, for anything my hand went up, and for this also. At a very tender age, my uncles didn't do it, my dad didn't do it. That gave us huge confidence. I must tell you, my dad never ever questioned me on any decision that I took. So that gave you confidence. He didn't say you messed it up. He never said that. So that is what that developed you into that, very confident person. And I do that for my children. I never question them. Let them free. After all, everybody is there. You make mistakes. And then you learn from those mistakes also. So these guys descended to Bangalore. So they wanted to build some multi-dwelling buildings. And at this time, we said, we'll sell this property. And in that story of selling the property and then again reinvesting back into some other properties for capital gains, this exposure to real estate happened. Till then, we were very content, attending to very smart people, rich people, making this wedding suits for their children, everything else. And it was good life. There was nothing wrong. Even today it's good life, but more stressful. Because we have to contend with many more sharks. Anyway, the property was sold. And it was sold for a grand sum of 150 rupees a square foot. But of course, that was in the year 1980. Now we are 46 years away. That's the value of money, that's the value of the property itself. Anyway, with this, what happened was this experience. We started trading in property, my brother Rizwan and I, for at least 5 years. We were buying, selling, buying property in Indiranagar or Koramangala. Koramangala, I have bought property for 35 rupees a square foot. A sold property for 35, maybe bought for something. But that's all history now. You have to add some 3 zeros against that. And life happened. 5 years we were doing this. Then we said, enough is enough. I think we need to do something more constructive, something more better, something more satisfying. Let's make a difference to the city. Let's put up something. You should do something just to say, I want to make a quick buck. It doesn't happen. I mean, you're not giving yourself to that. But if you say, I want to create something nice, if you want to bring in some excellence, the Lord above also helps you to do that. You see, the intent is what is important. So my mentor and those days and brokers those days was a gentleman called Mr. Dara C. Shroff. Maybe some of you may remember him. One was Mr. Hussain of Auto Associates. One was Mr. Muhammad. Finally, he landed to be my brother's father-in-law. So we did this for 5 years. And then we started, let's do some buildings. So this is the first building that moving from fabric to landmark. And then what we did was, we built this building. In those days, we thought it was a wonderful development. But of course, if you ask me now, man, this looks very crappy. But at that time, yes, you see, it's all about relativity. It's all about how things are relative and how it moves. But you shouldn't feel ashamed to what you've done. This was our beginning. And then we formalized. I said, when you have to do business, you need to have a structure. You need to formalize your business. We established something called Prestige Estates and Properties, which was a partnership firm. And the logo. Many people ask me, where did this logo come from? Ma didn't design it. It was a young man who came. I was sitting in my store in the back room, and I told him, listen, man, I'm establishing these two firms. I need some stationery, I need some identity. And he produced everything. In fact, the first logo for Prestige Estates and Properties was in that P or E, he had also grown a tree. I said tree is very relevant even today. But he brought this also. He brought this logo and he said, sir, this logo is very nice. It shows, you see, there's that round circle, he says, is the moon. And he said, that's the bird. I can see Tilak enjoying this. Huh? Tilak is again an old Bangalorean. So that is how the Prestige Group logo was born. Never knew that today it will be on hundreds of buildings all over the country, not only all over the city. Never imagined. You see, you can't imagine. Then our first building was where we did this. Our office was. Lovely picture of Rizwan and me. Stan told me I don't look older than what he saw me 18 years ago, but I think I look pretty old now compared to that picture. So, what happened was, we established Prestige Estates and Properties. 1986, that was the first corporate office, and we built a team. And for the first time, this building, we devised something called joint development. Joint development was where we did a barter with the landowner. Instead of paying money and buying the land, we said, why don't you join together with us? We will, in lieu of the value of the land, we'll give you so much of built-up area. You can either get rent or you can sell you will be participating in the sort of benefits that come with the development. It was a win-win situation. But then the lawyers themselves didn't know how to do this contract. We sat together, we worked together, and we definitely made that contract. Of course, over a period of years, these contracts have matured and there are enough templates. And I think today a joint development agreement, anybody in the business will say it's there, taken for granted. But 40 years ago, it wasn't. Then the next one was on St. Mark's Road. There was such a pretty structure there. I still cry that I've demolished it. It was called Golden Threshold. It was Dr. Miranda's house, where he was my dentist. We reminiscent. And we bought this property and we said, it's on the main road, it's on a commercial road, let's do an office building. Innocently, we designed it, we submitted for approval, and bingo, the town planning member said, I can't sanction this plan. I said, why? He said, it's in the residential zone. Only then we came to know about ODP, CDP, all of it. Then we scraped our feet back and forth to the BDA to get the change of land use done. And at that time, I had a commissioner, I won't take names, and I knew him because he used to visit the store and buy clothes. So every time I used to go some way or the other, he was not moving my file or not signing my file. Then somebody lower down said, listen buddy, he's a little angry with you. Why? You didn't give him discount. So even that time, I just knew him a very nice gentleman. He used to come whistling. He was very smart, everything else, but that's life. This building got done. We overcome that challenge. And then this Prestige Oakwood was the first residential building we did in Koramangala. A 2,000 square foot home cost about 9 lakhs. Today you won't even get a car park for that. And I was a little skeptical. It is only 88 homes, and the people, the buyers, even for that price, were people who were retired people who had got their gratuity, their provident fund and some savings, and they could buy. Bangalore was still a public sector town, and there was no home loans, and if home loans were there, they were very expensive, and they never dished out the homes around like how they are dishing them out today. Yes, so we did this, and then a friend of mine from Mumbai, he was a contractor, he said, Irfan bhai, you don't worry. Mr. Abbas Jazdanwala, what a personality. I've now developed, I never imagined I would develop his property in Mumbai. But history was that he said, you leave it to me. My boys will build it for you and you just do your marketing and branding. We did just that. And I think Prestige Oakwood in Koramangala was a runaway success. I don't know how they've maintained this property at the moment, but I hope they've kept it well. And as I said, it was sold for about 9 lakhs for a 2,000 square feet. And then something changed. In the year 1991, reforms started happening, economic reforms under Manmohan Singh's regime. He was the finance minister. What happened? He brought in liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Things suddenly moved, they changed. And the world started looking at us. Otherwise, nobody looked at India. It was the era of dot-coms, of course, boom and bust of dot-coms, BPOs, IT companies, and now, of course, it's GCCs, and MNCs looked at opportunities in India. And slowly but steadily, a lot of MNCs started coming into the country, and this opened up the demand for both housing as well as offices. It's first office, then housing. Now, why did that happen? Only when somebody can earn money can they afford to buy a home and get a home loan. So our youngsters started getting high-paid jobs just here in their own city, in their own country. So this was on MG Road, this was a drive-in restaurant there, Udyavan. That became the Prestige Meridian. And again, even today it looks pretty nice, it's well maintained. And this was the first high-rise. That particular road, I think only 2 roads in Bangalore could build more around 13 floors. Otherwise it was all a low-rise city. But of course today now a lot more high-rise is coming up. So the demand opened for offices, demand opened for housing. And then the other part was, it was a challenge. We had something called the Urban Arts Commission, that MG Road was supposed to be a revered road. Unfortunately, they butchered it now with that metro going up. In fact, I did ask the MD, he's still a good friend of mine, very clean man. I asked him, sir, why on earth you sunk the metro in the middle of MG Road going through Cubbon Road? Why didn't you sink it just before entering into MG Road and made it into an underground rail? He had his own logic, but I didn't buy that logic. I don't buy that logic even today, because I stay on that road. Every time I pass by, I don't enjoy it. But that's life. And then what we did is we established a property management company called Prestige Property Management Services to take care of what we built. Because once you build it, somebody has to take care of it. Once a baby is born, the mother and father have to take care of it till the child grows up to a certain level and who can stand on its own feet. So we tell our customers, we are there for you. The day you don't need us, kick us out. But we'll take care of all your problems. So this was established. In fact, I must give you, I don't want to talk numbers because it's not about numbers, it's about doing something. Here, this particular property management company today has, as a service, we started it as a service to the customer. Today it's got a top line of almost 700 to 800 crores. And then, since the boom happened, 93, 94, Bangalore was booming, real estate was booming. We got people buying property all over, from all over the world. We got the courage to launch 4 of the largest development in Bangalore. Actually, many developers, many of my peers thought that I had gone loony. And of course, for that time, this was big. And in today's time, I'll say it is nothing, it is just small. We did the Prestige Acropolis. You saw some images of it in the introduction. Then we did the Prestige Dorchester, Prestige Towers, and Prestige Monte Carlo. And we got Mr. Deve Gowda, now who from Chief Minister became the Prime Minister. The only name to claim how I knew that gentleman was that he needed some support and he became the Chief Minister. So I said, let me bring him. and let him inaugurate these projects. A very nice gentleman. Of course, things change, values change, but at that time, I would say he was a great guy. And then we had told you about Prestige Elgin. The owners came to me and said, let's redevelop it. I said, I don't want to spoil the whole, it's like history. So we kept the same facade. Thomas Associates were the architects. I think between Tom and us, we've done some of even the Prestige Meridian was built by them. The EGK building was done by them. The Rex Walks recently done by them. Even this Prestige Elgin. Because he also had that, apart from an architect, he's an artist. He knows how to do things. And the teamwork was fantastic. And so we kept the same legacy. This development has won many awards for us. And then in 1997, we converted from a partnership to a private limited company. And then after that, things started. I told you, the MNC started coming. We started building more and more office spaces. Prestige Sterling Square, this was occupied by Philips Software for some time, and then tenancies changed because Philips grew in size and they moved somewhere else. But somebody else came in, and then Prestige EGK now has a gold store called Joy Lucas over there, though they've spoiled the facade a bit. And then something earth-shattering happened, 1999. That is the time where we could dream. We could dream big. It was the repealing of the Urban Land Ceiling Act. We were in shackles. You could not own land more than 1,000 square meters. A city like Mumbai, not more than 500 square meters. And no development of any sort of large scale could be done unless for some group housing or whatever, and you had to really rub your souls and get them scraped off to get those exemptions. And then this earth-shattering event happened. I think my friend sitting there, Ramini, he was also responsible to get that pushed, and we got the Urban Land Ceiling Act repealed. Once that Urban Land Ceiling Act got repealed, this is what happened. We could think new thought process, new designs, and it became a new era. Totally new era. Because land opened up. It was like all these days you were in jail, and suddenly you were set free. For some time you still didn't know what to do. But then after that we realized that we could do a lot. So then the bigger developments happened, bigger tech parks, malls, larger housing, all that kept happening, and that was because we got unshackled. One move, regulatory, happened in 1991, was the liberalization. Second one was in 1999, is the repeal of the Act, Urban Land Ceiling Act. So we started building more and more software parks because the demand was there. In fact, Prestige Waterford on Brenton Road, where our office is now, in a different building, of course not here, was where Cisco established their first office. At that time, when these guys got an occupancy of the full building, 50,000 square feet, we used to celebrate. Because somebody coming in, tenant occupying that full building was unheard of. And here's this client coming and just occupying that full building. Today we don't talk of thousands of square feet. We talk of millions of square feet. Today an occupier comes in, Jaggi smiling there. They want 100,000, 500,000, maybe sometimes more. Oh, that's how relativity is there. Then we established the first resort, which was the Angsana Resort. And then we got our ISO certification. Then we did something else. I was in Rotary. You just told me you don't come to Rotary so often, but when I did, they wanted me to. We established the Citizen Extraordinary Award, something like what Bunty is having here. But we didn't do 44 editions. Probably we did some about 12 or 15, and then honestly, we just couldn't find more people. It was to reward and recognize people who contributed to the development of Bangalore and did a contribution to Bangalore. The first award was given to Mr. S.M. Krishna. I think the most progressive chief minister the state had. Unfortunately, he did only 4.5 years, and then boom, he got elected out, and then we were in chaos. Until today, we are in chaos. So we had Kiran, Dr. Devi Shetty, we had Narayan Murthy, we had Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Nandan Nilankani, and Doctor, and Mr. Tripathi, who was in BMTC. So it's a good, lot of people, awardees were there, most this thing. And then we got a challenging job in 2002. Intel India, now they've got some few million square feet on Outer Ring Road. At that time, they came to us demanding. It was a greenfield site we had just opposite the Leela and next to the Manipal Hospital. And they said, we want you to build this in 13 months with fit out. A greenfield site, we built this in 13 months, start to go with the approvals. From the approval to the occupancy to the fit outs, it was done. And I think we didn't sleep. It was a commitment, it was passion. It was not the money. If it was money, maybe we wouldn't have done it. And then they, of course, recognized us for it and gave us this certificate. Sadly, this building is demolished today. They vacated it because they moved to a much larger campus. They wanted to sell it. We were also one of the contenders, but some hospital group bought it. And in a matter of 24 years, it's a flat piece of ground today. And then 1993, we said, let's get ourselves rated. And from 1993 to 2026, we have been rated by CRISIL as DA1. And there's no other developer who's got rated DA1. And we continue to be the same. We strive to see, and what does it mean? What does DA1 mean? Is to build by the specifications that we've promised and within the timelines that we've committed and deliver the product that we promised. So that is the commitment, that is the customer confidence we have. And this rating continues. Developers' ability to execute real estate projects as per specified quality levels within the stipulated time schedule and the ability to transfer clear title is excellent. So we are carrying on this excellence till today. And then this is the forum story. 2004 forum Koramangala was unveiled. But to get here is a big story. I hope I have some time. I hope not boring you. I can. Yeah, it's interesting, hopefully. So this was a large piece of land, 5 acres in Koramangala, next to my prestige acropolis. The landowners had signed a joint development with me to build a residential project or do an office project. I love travel. I still love travel. So we couldn't dream and imagine to build malls like we see in the US. Now, of course, it's Dubai. But at that time, I had gone to South Africa, seen some of these medium-sized malls, multiplexes. We used to, in the evenings, go and spend some time. I said, why can't we do this in our own country, in our own city? So the idea came, the thought came. So then this opportunity was there, no urban land ceiling. They have abolished, no need to go for exemptions, no need to go around the law. We can go straight in and do what we want. So I sounded off my landowners. So the youngsters, of course, they've now grown. I've also grown older. But then the guy said, sir, whatever you decide, we are with you. That was a level of confidence. If you say you want to build a mall, go ahead. They didn't know what it meant, but they just went by me. And then I gave the brief to, again, Mr. T.M. Thomas, and he gave me the design. And when he gave me the design, I was aghast. The cinema was on the ground floor. I said, Tom, how can you use the most prime space for a cinema on the ground floor. He said, no, boss, as per the Cinematographic Act and the rules, either cinema has to be a standalone, or if it's in a building, it has to be only on the ground floor. I knocked my head. 2001, I told you, Mr. Krishna was the CM. I had a friend, I told him, I said, listen man, the world is changing, there's something called multiplexes. And we need to educate our government and say, everywhere else it's getting built, why should we be left out? We just need to change the rules. So he said, you write down what you want. So we drafted it. That draft today also in the Cinematographic Act is drafted by us. So fine, he went convinced, because he was a progressive CM, he understood it. And within no time, and in the meanwhile we started building, not building without approval. I got my approval. I'm a risk taker. What I did is, I said, we designed it, the top floor. Of course, we got some, architect from the US, and he came in, he changed the whole design. He looked at our initial design. He said, let's start from a blank canvas. He started from a blank canvas, and then he brought the design to what it was today and put the cinemas on top. But what we did was, I always look for some solutions. So I said, let's not show it as cinemas. Let's show it as auditorium. The law doesn't say I can't have an auditorium on the top floor. Only cinema license I won't get. So we got the approval, and we started, because I didn't want to waste time. So we started building. I took that risk. I said, if the law hadn't changed, I said, okay, finally I'll use it for convention center or whatever else. Maybe the people can conduct marriages or have meetings like this. So be it. If you can't get it, you can't get it. But the good part is, we got the change. And my friend brought the draft back and gave it to me. He said, this is the draft. I said, listen, the draft came as, instead of calling it multiplex, somebody wrote it as IMAX. I said, yeah, IMAX is a screening system. Multiplex is a group of cinemas. Again, I had to educate them, and that got changed to multiplex. Then we went back, got a modified plan, by which time the building started coming up. And that's the story of the cinema, PVR. And even before anything else, PVR, Mr. Ajay Bijli, he had sent an emissary to me and saying that we want to take that space on lease. I said, very good. Then I said, I want to come and see, where is your multiplex? We've got it in Delhi. I said, to my best of my knowledge, there was no multiplex in Delhi. So they took me and showed me a standalone cinema. I said, Ajay, where is your multiplex? No, I have a JV with Village Road Shows in Australia. So I'm going to do this. I said, you are going to do it, but you haven't done it. So that is true Delhi style. Of course. So then he invited me. The whole troupe, all of us, including him, my team, my architect, all of us traveled to Melbourne, we went to Bangkok, we went to Singapore and saw all the multiplexes in those cities. I learnt a lot. And we came back fully educated, and so time passed, the structure got ready, and then the deal I did with Ajay was like I gave it away almost for free, because when you're innocent, you do make the innocent mistakes, but okay, it was fine. So we did there I learned what was gold class, what was Europa class, what was the mainstream cinema, all that came from there. So, and I was very starry-eyed. I said, Ajay, I want this just like this. I don't want anything else. So he also got some designer. He got it all done. But when the time came to start the fit out and the structure was ready, I think our friend got cold feet. He did literally got cold feet. And then he booked an appointment with me and came to me. So I was wondering why he came. He said, Mr. Razak. I said, yes, Ajay, what happened? He said, I've done market research, I've done market study. I hope Bunty didn't give that market research. So they said this Bangalore is still not yet ripe for a gold class cinema. Nobody will pay that 800. That time it was 700 or 800 rupees or 500 rupees. I don't know how much. And this thing, they are only mainstream cinema will do well. These special cinemas with 40 seats and 35 seats will not work. I looked at him hard. In that meeting only, I looked at him hard. I said, Ajay, before I started this journey with you, I was an absolute novice. I didn't know anything about it. You educated me, you took me all around, and after that, many exhibitors have come to me and said, give me the space. I said, I've already committed, I can't give it to you. Now, I am convinced, I am sold on this. And I believe that this is the only way to do it and no other way. So, he said, Mr. Razak, if you say that, I have no option. I said, it's either that, the words I used was, either it's everything or nothing, Ajay. So he said, if that is the case, I will do it. I said, when he said I'll do it, it all happened in one meeting. I said, in that case, Ajay, if things go horribly wrong, I'll stand by you. If it doesn't work, you don't trade, whatever happens, I'll stand by you. He agreed. Then we did this. August 2024, the mall opened. I remember these dates so distinctly in my head because February 2024, the mall opened and it was like Bangalore hadn't seen something like this. There were people flocking in. I used to be scared because in a day, some 50,000, 60,000 people used to come. It was scary. Safety. And I think we got the cinemas ready in August 2024. And again, Mr. Dharam Singh, the then Chief Minister, came. He inaugurated the cinemas. And I remember I was standing next to him. He almost fell off the escalator. I had to hold him. Yeah, that's the story. And now there's, after that, see, this is the pioneering effort. It's everything else. There's no looking back. Now look at and see how many malls we have in Bangalore itself, across the state, across the country, much larger formats, much huge formats, and you name it, you have it. But I have the satisfaction that we did this and we did it well. And even today, it's a very relevant destination. Of course, the name Forum has changed to Nexus. There are different reasons, I'll tell you later. Then we did this tech park because now you could build anything in any larger unit. We did this Prestige Tech Park. And my first tenant there was JP Chase. In those days, it was a greenfield piece of land. And we were building a few million square feet there. And then this broker, I think JLL of CBRE, brought JP to us. And they said, we'll pre-lease 350,000. And 350,000 in those days was big. That was in the year 2000. This says 2004, but to 2000 when we started building. And I said, listen, buddy, you don't know. As far as you are concerned, you tell me to jump and I'll say how high. Because I don't dancing. I need you. So I rented out that space to them at 23 rupees a square foot. JP Morgan. Today, I think Jagimar was saying you gave it away for free. He charges maintenance 23 rupees. And the rent itself is about 110, 120. We moved to a larger building, larger premises. We got in more people, more staff, more members. And we functioned from there from 2005 to 2019. 14 years we functioned from there. And then we grew out of our seams. We were working from 4 buildings. I gave her this job to do all this corporate communications, to take the brand, to develop the brand and all of it. And she cleaned up the logo. In the earlier logo, the wing was fallen down. Here, the wing is flying. That's why the Falcon is flying so much now. And then, Prestige Shantiniketan. Insane. 105 acres, integrated township, first time done in Bangalore. And when we launched it again after we moved to Falcon House in 2005, early 2005, February 2005. 3,000 apartments, 3 million plus square feet of office, a shopping mall, a Sheraton Grand. Of course, those components came a little later, but that was all conceived that time. We sold all the 3,000 apartments within a space of some 2 weeks. We didn't know what hit us. Stan, you were part of that madness. I don't want to exaggerate, over-exaggerate, but that's how it was. We didn't know what hit us. Of course, it was sold at a decent number, 1,845 rupees a square foot, and we just said, let's sell it and give the benefit to the customers. The company also will make some profit, but they won't kill the customer because the volumes were huge. We sold it, we got the cash flows. And I'll tell you, while we were doing all this, till I think probably when we were doing Prestige Acropolis or the Forum Mall, the company relied on only internal cash flows. I had an overdraft of about 25 lakhs in Canara Bank and nothing else. And I was petrified of borrowing. Today you ask me, look at my investor presentation, it looks very different. But that's all concept, it's all relative. So we built this in record time, we delivered it in 2009, and we still have the Sheraton Grand with the company, the rest of it is gone. 2006, we established the Inventure Academy. I met Mrs. Maini and Chetan just last Friday. And Chetan asked me, did you ever imagine that you would come in 20 years, you'll come to this level? I said, man, my vision to Noorine was we have to establish something of excellence, nothing else. And it wasn't to make money. We haven't taken out a single rupee from that school. Whatever else comes, it's churned back and put in again, maybe to grow the infrastructure or grow some another one, but nothing else. Because that was, see, if the intent is different, even God above helps you. So that's what happened. And we established that. We did Prestige Ozone. It was a gated community. Then we established the first SEZ, maybe the first in Bangalore, where we again leased out about 4 million square feet to Cisco. It was the largest campus outside of the US. They're still there. And of course, that asset was with us till 4 years ago. And we sold it, and along with that, the Aloft Hotel. And then, as things should have it, 2006, we decided to flap our wings and fly to other cities. We went to Chennai, we made a mark there. We go to Chennai, you'll see the Prestige Group logo and some of the most handsome buildings there. We did that in Hyderabad, a lot of developments in Hyderabad, and a lot more action is happening there. And we've grown the business organically. We didn't take it from top down, we took it from bottom up. And then we went to Kochi, then to Mangalore, and then, of course, the UB city. I had to deal with my great man. Unfortunately, I don't know why he did it. I even told him when I met him last year, why did you run away, man? Mr. Dr. Vijay Mallya, he was a great guy, he's still a great guy. Amazing person. Lot of intelligence, lot of vision. And then I think the intermediary was Shashikant, who was liaising between the boss and us, and he always used to create that. He was the Birbal between Akbar, Badshah and us. So one thing led to the other, but I must give him credit. He said, first do me a design. Again, we went to Mr. Thomas and we gave him the brief. We told him what's to be done, everything else, and he produced something. We went and presented it to him. He took that and he just threw it into the bin. He said, this looks like something in Mumbai where that, Bandra Kurla complex, if you go at all those glass buildings, no, this is not what I want. Then he quickly went on to his secretary's computer and bang, bang, bang. He just went and on the internet and then he pulled out an image of New York from there and gave it to Thomas. He said, I want you to build a city. I want you to do something like this. Tom is a creative guy. He heard him. And we, of course, wanted to do that job. It's probably, again, redefined what Prestige was, because that's what gave us our stature today. Because we got this opportunity to develop this huge property right in the heart of the city. It gives an image to the company. A lot of my friends who knew him saying, "You're playing with fire, he'll bloody butcher you." I said, "Listen, nothing like that will happen. As far as I am concerned, if I deliver what I have promised, I'm very confident nobody can do anything. If I screw up, I have all the right for somebody else to screw me." Sorry for the language. So, UB City was conceived like this. And another thing, those days, you see, today architects are using graphic, they use computers to do all of those perspectives. This was actually the perspective for this particular development was hand-drawn by an artist called Ishwar Pattar. He used to draw those. And believe you me, when he saw it, he was mighty kicked. He loved it. He called all his senior officials and kept it in his boardroom and said, "Ha, ha, ha, this is what I want to build." Fair enough. We said, we'll build it. It was a story how the approval came, how the chief minister didn't come for the groundbreaking. That's another story, but it got built. It got built in style. And of course, he knew exactly what he wanted. Even that today, the luxury mall that is there, my people had done designs and presented to him. Then I was a little skeptical. "Sir, why do you want to do those individual shops? It's very difficult to manage it. Again, collect rent, somebody will come." No. So I said, "Why don't we just give it to one tenant?" And I took Nagesh of Sopper Stop all the way to Delhi, because he was the MP that time, and he said, "Come to Delhi." We went there. And I primed up Nagesh. I said, "Make a great presentation where he'll say yes." Nagesh messed it up. It didn't happen. He gave 2 chances. Both the chances went. Then I said, "What do you want, sir?" He said, "You had presented me that luxury retail. You do the same thing. I'll approve it." I said, "Okay, great. We'll do it." We appointed JLL. But one thing he told Rizwan and me. He said, "You're Bangalore boys, man. You know your job. I won't interfere. You do it." That is the level of confidence he had. And we did it. And we did it in style. And today, UB City, in every, apart the Vidhana Sauda in Bangalore, it's a landmark for Bangalore. And we are creating more landmarks in other cities. And this is another landmark we created. 2008. Against all odds, somehow people chased me. Land always chases us. We never chased land. And said, "This 300 acres is there. Why don't you buy it?" After a lot of reluctance, thought process, back, forth, with due diligence, this, that, took months and months for it to happen. But the sellers also were very patient. I bought this land. Then I took my nephew, because he wanted to build a golf course, Faiz. And he wanted to do it in some 40 or 35 acre property. "I don't want you to do a Mickey Mouse golf course, Faiz. If you want to do something, do it here." There was a hillock there, took my brother and him to there, said, "Let's do a golf course." Doesn't this look amazing? Does it look like as though it's in India? I don't think so. Of course, this was an uphill task. Nobody understood what we are doing or what we were doing. People, naysayers, said there's no water there. And they said that's a dry area. How are you going to sustain it? Believe you me, I took that bold step. I said, if there's no water, I'll get grey water pumped in. And not even today, we are pumped. Though, of course, we don't need it that much, because we created about a dozen artificial lakes and not a single drop of water we waste. And everything is recycled and used for the lawns and for the gardens and everything else. And another thing, what happened was the villas itself. We thought it's a lifestyle, people will buy. People did buy, people did book, and many people, the faster they booked, the faster they cancelled out also, because there was some negative sentiment going on, but we didn't look back. I said, this will be the address. Because A, you need to believe in yourself. If you're doing something stupid, then yes, you'll get into trouble. But I knew this wasn't something stupid. I knew if I create the address, if I create the product, one day or the other it will pay off. And it is paying off to all the people who have bought there and invested there. And of course, people who play golf there enjoy. Every Sunday I play golf with my friends. So that's the story of Prestige Golfshire. 2010, we did a IPO. We listed the company, raised capital. So more capital means more work, more responsibilities to your stakeholders. Then we got this brand called the Prestige City. This is Prestige Lakeside Habitat. It is a 105-acre theme development, Disney theme development. We did that in 3 cities. That's in Hyderabad, Bangalore, as well as in Kochi. And then 2017, one more regulatory change. We got the RERA. We got the RERA and we got the GST. JRA, what did it do is brought in discipline. It brought in accountability. And also what it did was it brought in consolidation of the industry itself. And everybody had to be responsible. I think that's one single change. It also brought in customer confidence. Because different parts of the country, different stupid things were happening. But with RERA, you cannot afford to be delinquent. You have to deliver, and you have to, after delivery, also you have to take care of the property for 5 years. So RERA was a game changer again for the real estate industries. And I believe that was a great legislation. I was part of going through the whole process when the committee of the MPs had come. We had many discussions. I was a chairman for RERA at that time. Chairman for CREDAI, and used a lot of, that's another thing. You see, once you're on the other side, and if you really think, I probably have read that entire act back and forth, word by word. We requested for corrections, and then finally it became law. And then we did some luxury hotel developments, the Conrad, the Sheraton Grand. And then this is another story. You see the mansion there? Where a big boss couldn't live there at all, even for a day. Probably he's not even seen the property, he's only seen the pictures. And in some podcast, somewhere he said that I told Mr. Irfan Razak, I want my house to be lifted up on top, and they did just that. Yeah, we did just that. How much of circus we had to do, we know, but we did it. We built it, and it's the most luxurious housing building in Bangalore. I won't say the country because Mumbai has something else. But I'm very proud of what we did here. And then in 2019, like I said, 2004 to 2019, we were in Falcon House. Then we needed more space. When I told my brother that this building was getting ready, I went up to him and said, listen, we are not functioning properly. We are working in silos. There are about 4 different buildings. People are all scattered everywhere. And there's no cohesiveness. We need to move to a larger development, and we need to put everybody in one place. First he said no, then I had to convince him, and then finally he only took the lead. We did the fit outs, we did the interiors, and today I'm very proud that it's a beautiful office building. In the same year, we did the 6 hotels with the Marriott, and we are still building a lot more hotels with Marriott. And then 2020, something hit, not the industry, it hit all of us, it hit the world. COVID. Nobody expected it. What happened? It was beginning of 2020, my CEO of retail, he said, sir, there's some lockdown that is to happen. Some people the tenants are saying that the malls people shouldn't go in, something else. And in my own innocence, I said, this could be something for a week or 15 days. And I'm on the side of my tenants. I said, listen, if the stores can't open, if they can't trade, you can't charge them rent. So in one flash of innocence or largesse, I said, as long as the malls are shut, don't charge them rent. Yes, that's what happened. Not only rent, don't charge them CAM also. The rest of the industry who are mall owners were ready to kill me. But then I'll tell you, if we hadn't done that, whichever mall, not ours, anybody else's, we would have been, because at that time we were running some 8 malls. across the country, including Bangalore, some 3. But then there was no choice. But if you don't trade, if there's no business happening, and the retailer doesn't come get money, how does he pay you the rent? But of course, the largest retail, the multinational or corporate retailers were the ones who did the biggest arm twisting. That came later. But then that too will pass. So we were without rent for some time. We had EMIs to pay. Fortunately, we had enough cash flows and the banks gave us time. All that happened. And then what did we do in lockdown? It was not about business now. It was about life. And then we said we should take care of our people. We did vaccination drives. Every day in the morning, the routine was, and see, new technologies happened. We learned what was Zoom, learned what was Teams. We could communicate through the screen. And that from that day to today, a lot of meetings happen on the screen. So this was a most disruptive event at least in my career. I've not seen so much of disruption. I think everybody felt the same thing. So my friends, we said, now this is the time to give, not to take. So we said we should distribute rations to the labor, vaccines to our people, and then to the community. And then the important part was we had to see everybody was safe, and we learned how to work. Every day morning we used to check how everybody's health was, how everybody was doing, and what was the problem where. And this routine went for the period of lockdown. I think lockdown was about a month or 2 months, I don't know how long. So at that time we did digital transformation. And then everybody says office is dead. Nobody used to go to office. Our tech parks, which used to have 50,000, 40,000 people, they were like ghost towns. And then everybody said there's no more office. It's all going to be WFH, work from home. And it's the end of office. I, for one, said it will never be the end of office. This is only a temporary phase. Things will bounce back. And things did bounce back. And today, in the year 2025, India has leased out 96 million, correct me if I'm wrong, Jaggi, 96 million square feet of office in one single calendar year, new leasing. And that is quite amazing for India. Out of that, I think Bangalore has a large share, 25 million, or 30, it's 25 million. And then while this was happening, I was sitting on my desk. A banker called me and he said, Irfan Saab, do you remember we had one conversation? I said, Bolo Bansal Saab, what conversation? You see, last time we were supposed to partner with Blackstone on some 50% deal, this, that, all of it. Now they are willing to buy. I had all the data with me. I don't know why I had the data, but you have to be perceptive. I think that's also called manifestation. I had all the data with me. It was easy for me to take a decision. I said, Bansal Saab, aapko karna hai to bolo, unko bolo. No cherry picking. I'm willing to sell this, all these assets. I'll share the details with you. It just happened like magic. And we did probably one of the largest asset sale. I think at that time, of course, dollar rate has changed. So if I talk in billions, it'll be different. But at that time, it was about $1 billion plus dollars. And we did that. We sold our 8 malls. We sold the SEZ. We sold a few other buildings all over the place. And we did get a lot of cash. What happened is we got cash and we also did away with debt. That helped us. Not that we were stressed out, but it helped me to grow. It helped me to grow my building. We went into Pune, made one office building there. Today that leads out to Bank of New York Mellon. We went to Goa. We did one residential development. Most importantly, we had the courage to go to Mumbai. And everybody thought I was mad. It was a big risk. Again, it was faith. Mumbai is not an easy territory to operate in. It's a very, very different ball game from the rest of the country. But it's only God above that has helped us. And I believe that we are now going to create some of the India's landmarks or Bombay's landmark in terms of office, in terms of residential. We've completed a few buildings in a short span of 4 years. So these are some of the developments that are happening, and I'm waiting with bated breath to complete them and then enjoy them. And then we developed this brand during the COVID time called the Prestige City. Now, something happened in post-COVID. Something magical happened. Everybody wanted to buy a home. People who were hesitating, who were sitting on the fence, even the media started talking positive. Once the media asked me, the market is good. I said, Madam, market has always been good. We always been selling. It's the media always who bashes us up. Now you are also saying everything is good, so it has to be still better. See, it's a perception. So homes started selling. We got this Prestige City. No, I'm fine. Prestige City the brand got established, scale got established. Now we are doing a Prestige. We completed, in fact, in that short span of 4 years, Mr. Gopal is sitting there in the audience and listening to me. And we completed the Prestige City in Sarjapur, few components of it, much more getting developed. We've done a component completion in Mumbai, and then you're building something in Hyderabad. So this brand really caught the imagination of people. People would like to stay in large townships where you have all the amenities, the retail, and a lot of open space. So this brand really worked for us. And we said, like how we are establishing the Prestige Golfshire brand after its success. Now I said, let's take this Prestige Golfshire brand to various parts of the country. So now we are doing a Prestige Golfshire in Lonavala. We have tied up some land in Chennai, something in Hyderabad, and something in Goa. But let it all fructify. It's a lot of progress. And of course, now we got the retail malls, again 2.0, we call it, Forum 2.0. We got the new mall, Forum South Bangalore. It's got scale, it's got openness, and it's beautiful, and it's trading amazingly well. I think one of the best performing malls in the city. And then we've got Forum Kochi. This is after we sold the assets. This is the new crop, which is Forum Rex Walk. Again, Forum Rex Walk again is an aberration. Mr. Kapoor had spoken to me. Nothing happened. Then suddenly again, one day he came and said, I want you to develop it. And then at that time, it just happened, boom. It happened very quickly. Earlier, he was thinking. And then the most important part is he decided so fast. And the entire development got built so fast. And I'm very proud of it. Though it's a very small, cute development. It's a lovely place to go. And I'm sure many of you would have gone there. And then is the JW Marriott in Prestige Golfshire. That probably was the crowning glory for the Prestige Golfshire. Zaid is here and right next to Uzma. He's the one responsible to put it through. And it's one of the best convention centers. The G20 happened there. Many celebrations, wedding, conferences, meetings happened there. Again, best performing asset for the company. And then the most satisfying thing is, along with the Forum South Bangalore, we established this PCPA, Prestige Center for Performing Arts. And this is a 1,000-seater auditorium. Yes, it is tough to get there, but it's very relevant to the micro market that is there, South Bangalore. Huge amount of performances, theatre, everything happens there. And for me, that is a huge satisfaction. It gives me a lot of pleasure that this happens there. It's not a money churner. And I think an asset, and I didn't want to use it for weddings and other things. It's a no-no. Don't spoil it. Just use it only for performing arts and sometimes a few conferences. And I think I'm very happy we're getting a good footfall there. And then, of course, this is numbers. Last year, we did 21,000 crores sale, top line. And that was, again, the highest we did ever. And then 2025, we took the Prestige City to NCR, and we got the Prestige City Indirapuram there, and we didn't know what hit us. It was the most successful launch, and we were almost 80-90% sold. That gives us more. And then this is another asset in the making, which will get ready this year, which is another bungee jump that I do. I do a lot of bungee jumps in my life, because it's a huge asset. It's got a St. Regis Hotel, the Marriott Marquis, and a Prestige Trade Center, the largest hotel in that micro market in the Prestige Aero City. It's all about 800 rooms. And I think the teams are working hard under Zaid's leadership, Suresh's leadership, to completed by July, and then the hotel should start trading by end of the year or this time next year. And that is the story. After doing all this, we just can't forget society, we can't forget responsibility. We should take care of our environment, we should be socially responsible, we should take care of governance. And these we have been doing consistently, and also CSR. So these things we keep doing. We've been working on it and sincerely on it. And these are some of the images what we are doing all over. You saw a few images in that initial video. We are supporting students in the Northeast. We are supporting tree planting. I think my ESG specialist Nirbhay is doing about 100,000 trees or 1 million trees. Million trees. I always don't like to over-exaggerate. If I'm right, 1 million trees are going to be planted. Apart from that, we've adopted some tiger cubs and these rations. All of that is there because for me, it's about whatever you have. It's about giving back to the society. And then we are in 2026. We started with a 900 square foot tailoring shop or retail shop to a 200 plus million square feet real estate developer. Today, we have 300 plus completed projects, 200 million square feet. 118 projects underway, another 200 million square feet. What we did in the last 40 years, our teams are endeavoring to do it in the next 5 years. They'll pull it off, I'm very sure. And then today, what are we doing? Before I come to this, I always say we have to be relevant. But anyway, let me run through this. After being in business for these 40 years, the most important thing is we shouldn't bring ego into this. We shouldn't let our head to get head weight. We should remember that we don't own anything. We are just custodians. The resorts, the offices, the brands, they are all ours on paper. We don't possess them. We have to protect them. We have to grow them. And we have to serve through them. The realization that is a must. We must stop seeing our business as ours and start seeing it as a responsibility. Everything shifts. Once we do that, we stop chasing ego, we start building with intention, we make decision not for profit, but for people. And because it's not about what, and it's about the who, thousands of lives are not connected to what we build. Employees, families, communities, futures, and of course when I say communities, it's customers. And one wrong decision, fueled by pride or greed, it can all come shattering down. Wealth means nothing if you don't raise others with it. We don't build to hold, we build to pass on. Our ambition should turn into purpose, our ownership will become stewardship, possessions will become platforms. Our legacy won't be measured in millions or billions. It will be measured in the lives changed. If we are to be remembered for anything, let it be this and only this. That is why I didn't bring in the listing number, we listed for so much, this is my market cap, all that for me that is all irrelevant, it's some number there. But if I can change lives, and if it can remember for what we have done, I believe we have served our purpose of doing what we are doing. Thank you very much for being one more slide. For being such a patient audience and listening to me so attentively. So, from 1956 to 2026, 70 years of the brand Prestige, I'm taking the entire journey from the retail store, from baby boomers to Gen Alpha, and this is the Gen Alpha. Thank you very much.
A great presentation. I'm sure that all of you will agree with me to see the journey of Bangalore through the eyes of someone who's created Bangalore. Irfan Razak, fantastic. May I request Nishita to please come forward and give Mr. Razak a bouquet to honor him for being here. May I request Mr. Liaq Ali, the president of the Ad Club Bangalore, to please come and propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. So on behalf of Ma Foundation, the Pure Boy family, and the Advertising Club Bangalore, I serve as the current president of the Advertising Camp Bangalore, so I get the honor to deliver the vote of thanks. So heartfelt thanks to all of you. It's wonderful to see all of you all glued on to an amazing Bangalore story which happened in front of us. Without you all, this day wouldn't have been special for all of us. So thank you so much for turning out in large numbers. Special thanks to Mr. Irfan Razak. Sir, amazing story. When I first came to Bangalore 30 years back, Prestige was not a real estate brand for me. It had a different role. It was like Google Maps. Because I used to get into Rick and I would say, go near Acropolis, go near Elgin, and they used to drop us there, right? And from there, I think it's amazing to see Shanti Niketan to Elgin to UB City, so many iconic addresses all around. And amazing to see how you've quietly shaped how Bangalore looks and lives and feels, most importantly. And today, hearing your story, your values, your humility, and your infectious energy to stand here and deliver all this, we are reminded why Prestige is not just a brand, but it's like become like an emotion for all of us, right? And when you go to UB City, everywhere else, I think it's become part of us in some form or the other. So thank you so much for proving that leadership can be sharp, kind, witty, and at the same time, a very serious real estate business. You told a great story here. So it was like serious storytelling, not really boring real estate business. So thank you so much for all of that. And sincere thank you to the Pure Boy family for including and involving Ad Club always. Akshar, Bunty, Sadhika, Nishita, all of you all. We've been part of this lecture series, and it's been amazing that this platform is consistently, it keeps bringing inspiration. Such great leaders have come here and inspired us through all these years, wisdom, perspective to shape the industry year on year. Thanks to E4M, who's been a partner here with us. Without them, this evening wouldn't have happened seamlessly, and everybody who's behind the scenes. And all of you all, thank you. Community, everybody who's landed up here, thank you so much. Without you all, this wouldn't have happened. Thank you all for a wonderful evening. And let's carry these insights forward. I think these are inspiration bits for all of us to go and create the next prestigious out of Bangalore. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to a close of the 44th IAS Pure Boy Memorial Lecture. I'd like to also invite you on behalf of the MA Foundation for cocktails at the Kensington Lawns, which is upstairs. Please do join us, and you can then get to meet Mr. Razak and interact with him on a one-to-one basis there. Thank you very much. Good night, and see you upstairs.